respectively. So middle of the pack right now. Can you see either of them kicking on and chasing?
With between both of them, and then also they got to get better on the defensive end.
That's very true for Manchester. More of that in a minute. But the Giants will be looking at this season, I guess, a little bit disappointed where they are right now, given their high hopes at the start of this season.
No, on paper they were a BBL all-star team. You know, they were expected to do big things. They've had a lot of issues with injuries, changes, but at the same time, I believe they're always building this squad for the end of the season, and I expect the Ramon Fletcher team to push on to make those goals.
Yeah, it'd be crazy to bet against that, right? Well, they are all gunning for London, who, of course, are the benchmark in the BBL and indeed the WBBL right now. We hope you joined us last Sunday to see both the Lions women's and men's team beat the Leicester Riders to claim the WBBL and BBL Cups. It was our first final showcase of the season, and what a day it was, Drew. Packed house at the Utilita in Birmingham. British basketball fans out in full force, and a masterful double performance from London.
Yes, absolutely. As expected, but you still got to go out there and you got to do it. And both the men's and women's team got it done. And like you said, what a spectacle for British basketball. And I felt like I wanted to celebrate afterwards.
Well, we did put in a big shift, to be fair to you, Drew. Interesting news coming out of the Lions camp this week. Their coach, the WBBL Lions team coach, Mark Clark, the architect of that incredible team, incredible streak they've been on of 51 wins and counting, stepping aside, moving upstairs to an advisory role. How surprised were you to hear the news and the timing of that news?
Wow, well, what a way to go out, right? But we're looking at the business of basketball, and I sit on the same fence that I did with Coach Vince McCauley last year this time, is that I would have just liked to have seen them wait to after the season, but who knows? We don't know what goes on behind the scenes. We can only go with what we see, but we know that he went out great as a great coach.
Yeah, legend of the game, no doubt about that. Now the Lions setting the pace in the league as well. Halfway through the campaign, they've only had 2 losses and counting. It's Bristol and Leicester that are keeping the pressure on them. At the other end of the table, Sheffield and Plymouth occupy the final 2 playoff spots, but there is a long way to go and a lot of basketball to be played. A win for the Giants tonight will see them join their local rivals Cheshire on 22 points, but a Gladiators victory, well, that would mean they join the Giants with identical 10-10 records. So London clearly in the box seat, but Bristol, Kieran, still have to play him twice again this season. We've talked a lot about that relentless schedule that the Lions have to face in Europe, so the title race is still very much on, isn't it?
Well, that's definitely the hope. You know, I look at Bristol, what they've performed this season, their nucleus, playing as a team, you know, competing at a very high level, but then you look at the London Lions, they've found a way to balance, you know, the minutes, the personnel. They're still performing at a high level. They don't seem like they're slowing down, so that'll be a tough ask for Bristol Flyers. Now,
Drew, this is your chance to get back in the good books of the Bristol Flyers fan base and organisation. Are they still a title contender?
Absolutely, into the big woman sings, of course, but yeah, Bristol have been consistent all day long, and we know when you go down that Wise campus, it's a tough environment to play in.
There you go, Drew Lasker, Bristol making good with it. Now, neither of tonight's 2 teams are going to be threatening for the title, but they still have a lot to play for, of course, with their eyes on that playoff tournament and the playoff seedings. All changed this season for Manchester with legendary head coach Vince McCauley taking over, and he's brought in some top-tier BBL talent with him, of course. We figured, Drew, they'd be exciting to watch, and they've lived up to that hype because they're the highest scorers in the BBL. But as you alluded to earlier, they've got to work on their defense, conceding the most points in the league right now. So we know it's going to be a roller coaster whenever we watch it.
I mean, every time I watch Manchester, I'm on the edge of my seat because I know the score is going to be in the hundreds. And that, you know, Vince, his philosophy is 7 seconds or quicker, and they've done that.
Okay, let's look at some of the key players that we are going to be seeing tonight. William Lee, first up, and rightly so, because he's such a dominant presence at both ends of the court. Lethal in the paint, defensively robust. What a player he is, Kieran.
Absolutely love his game. You know, he plays at a very high level, scoring the ball, blocking shots, you know, rebounding. But he, you know, coming back from injury this season, he's not missed a beat. You know, he's really playing at a high level and a key player for this team.
4 times already in the BBL All-Star 5 this season, despite that injury. Dirk Williams, Drew, is he the best three-point shooter in the BBL right now?
Well, the numbers say so, and this guy has a bag. Remember last year, he was teetering along the 50-40 split, so a highly efficient player. And he started off the season a little bit slow, but now he's starting to get his groove. And in the last couple games, he's hit a barrage of threes late to bring the Manchester Giants back in the game.
Averaging almost 19 points a game, one of the 3 Giants in the BBL's top 10 for scoring. Another one of them is Taj Green, and he has been doing it in style as well. Every time we see him, Kieran, we expect a new entry on the highlight reel, don't we?
Taj the dunk machine Green, as I say.
Yeah, nice.
No, he's a spectacular player to watch, entertaining, he's got personality as well, and Vince has found a way to work with him. He's controlled his emotions enough to keep him on the court. Great basketball player.
The 2-time MVP, Ramon Fletcher, who, as we suggested, has won so much in his career, particularly as an Eagle, particularly with you, Drew Lasky, your former teammate, and he's picking up here where he left off. 167 dishes. I mean, he's leading the league, but the next closest is 60 behind him.
Well, it's no fluke there. He's 3rd all-time in assists and had a career high in that category last season. And he brings a wealth of experience to the Giants. 6 MVPs, 9 titles. They are in good hands with number 44.
Let's talk Caledonia, who are in a dreadful run of form right now in the league, and they've lost 4 of the last 5. But they are a much improved organization year on year. Investment and some big signings coming in, Kieran.
Very much so. They've got intent. They want to be one of the dominant teams in this league. They look at London Lions and they say, that's where we want to be.
Let's take a look at some of the players in a bit more detail, starting with David Sloan. What a season he is having. Kieran, talk us through his game as their floor general.
He's a smooth player. You know, he's very controlled. If you look at him, watching him in warm-ups here, he doesn't break his smile, doesn't get too carried away. He's emotionless, but at the same time, he's going to kill you. Got a fast first step, get to the basket, can shoot the ball, can dish the ball. He's the rock of this Gladiators team.
Now, Jeremiah Bailey wowing the BBL this season. 161 boards and counting, 127 of those defensive rebounds. So he is going to be key tonight to keep that Giants juggernaut in check.
He is a mismatch nightmare on the offensive end. He's too quick for 4s. He's too strong for 3s. He can mix it up. He can get you on the low block. He can step out and hit the 3. I've been very impressed with his game this season.
Faro Aliotic, one of those new signings. A lot of hype about his move. What do we make of the signing, Kieran? Do you like it?
Great signing, but the one thing I have to watch is, it's just such a physical player. He's, causes a lot of foul trouble. So if he stays out of foul trouble, great addition for this Gladiators team.
All right, some of the key players we're going to be seeing tonight with regards to this Gladiators lineup. And indeed, the Giants' defense is something I want to ask you about, because struggling all season long, bottom of the league in terms of points. Do the Gladiators have the players to exploit that tonight?
I definitely believe they do. The Gladiators like to score the ball as well. But don't underestimate the Giants' defense. They don't play defense collectively at times, but they can get in the passing range and turn that into easy offense as well. So the Gladiators have to be on watch.
We've seen some of the key players that we're going to be seeing on the court tonight. What about the coaches? Let's hear from Vince McCauley and Gareth Murray.
Coach, 3 wins from 3rd, 3 losses from 7th. What's your take on the season thus far?
Well, the season so far is an interesting mix. I think we have a big hole in our season because of the missing piece in William Lee. So we feel we can rebuild from there. But, this is a brand new team. You're completely brand new. And getting to play with a legend like Fletch, getting to play with a shooter like Dirk, a talent like Will, it's going to take some time. The fact is, we're the right side of 500. And as you say, 3 from 3rd. Interesting.
And speaking of William Lee, he seems to be settling back in. What has he injected back into the roster?
I think actually the first thing and most important thing is the confidence across the team. That's knowing that he's there is great. And of course, he's back to his 40% three-point shooting, 9 rebounds a game, all of that kind of stuff. Once we can build on the stamina, because the injury was one thing, but missing 2.5 months of the season, that's tough.
And a 1-point win over the Gladiators and Lee's return. What are the adjustments tonight?
Well, I think in a way they kind of help us by having released Burns, because he was a real thorn in our side the last time. I think Durham is more of an unknown entity, but maybe not as explosive behind the three-point line. We just can't give up the three-point shot too much today. And also the Scottish contingent have always been great contributors. We need to keep them down.
Coach, 2 wins on the road all season. What's your assessment of your road struggles?
Yeah, tough road games. Most of them back-to-back games. Double headers down in Bristol and Plymouth. This is one of the closer ones for us, 4.5 hour journey. So yeah, the road's not been great for us in the last couple of years. Hopefully we can turn that around tonight.
You refreshed the roster with a big and a new guard. How are they fitting in?
Yeah, I thought two good guys, two hard workers, great team guys, so they're fitting in really well. Last week we got them some minutes versus Bristol to kind of get them accustomed to playing in the league, playing with each other, with the team. Probably played them more than I really wanted to, but I wanted to make sure they were ready for the stretch of games we have coming up.
In a controversial ending last time these teams faced, what are the key adjustments for tonight?
It's got to be defense for us. We let Dirk do what he does, score the basketball. We let Fletch distribute the ball. We let everybody else just do what they do. And we've basically got to play defense tonight. We can't be in a 94-95 game this week. It's got to be in the 80s if we want to win.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
It's been an interesting season for Gareth. Last couple of years we've covered them, the Caledonia team, that is, when he was player coach. This season he can concentrate on the coaching. What changes have you seen in him?
I think he's a lot more composed. Obviously seen the jump from shorts and shirt to suit. Yeah. He's a lot sharper now, but his composure, his empathy for the players, I think it's a kind of seamless transition. He's really thriving in this new role.
And we could see why Vince chuckled when you asked him about the season so far. That was his first instinct and reaction, because it has been an absolute roller coaster, hasn't it?
Yeah, if you look at the league table, it's so clustered if you ignore first and second place, and he knows that you're right on the fence of success and failure, but if the Manchester Giants want to be successful, they got to get more consistent.
Well, let's take a look at some of the key stats in terms of team comparisons and head-to-head. Two things jump out. Firstly, both of them prolific in terms of points in the paint, first and second of the BBL. Manchester, Kieran, picking up a lot of second chance points too.
They're a big physical team, and they're missing a key piece tonight in Robertson. He's a player who just goes after it. So I want to see how they adjust to that tonight.
All right then, it looks like we are almost ready for game time here. Friday night basketball on Sky Sports, and two teams that are always a compelling watch. Tip-off coming next.
This is Manchester Giants basketball.
Doug Williams down the lane to the finger. Oh my goodness, what a shot.
Let's go Gladiators.
football and basketball, both of these two teams have an abundance of talent on the offensive end.
And when it comes to talent, there isn't many better than Dirk Williams, and he is shooting the ball lights out right now.
Incredible. What's impressed me most about Dirk Williams is his stamina in games. He's coming up big in the fourth quarter, hitting big shots, but let's not forget to mention former MVP Ramon Fletcher pulling the strings from the offensive end.
And when we look at the starting five at the other end, there's a lot of superstar players, if you like, but Onwas does a lot of the dirty work for this team.
Really like Onwas. He'll do whatever he needs to do to put his team in a position to win a basketball game. And David Sloan, he's been that prolific scorer from the guard spot, averaging just under 20 points a game. Look for him to make his mark early.
Well, the 2-5s are out there. We're almost ready to go here in Manchester. Two teams in the middle of the pack who will be hoping to push a little bit higher, and they both have the talent to do so. And it is Manchester who win the tip and get us underway. Here's Lee. Round it goes to Fletcher. Dirk Williams running off the screens. Bailey in front of him. Dirk takes the three. Back of the iron. Rebound Green. Here's Fletcher. Pick and roll with Lee for the lane.
Great energy from the Giants early on in this game. Second chance opportunity there. Pick and roll with Ramon Fletcher. Gives a beautiful lead pass there for the easy finish.
Sloan. Kicks it back. The head fake. Dirk Williams up in the air, but the shot off the mark, and Green pulls in the rebound again. It's going to be a foul on Bailey on the far side.
It's a really intelligent play there for Dirk Williams to go right at Bailey. We've seen this a number of different times where Bailey gets in foul trouble early. He's having to leave the game, which then disrupts the whole offense of Caledonia, because Bailey's such a main focus there in the production on this Caledonia team.
Well, free lane to the basket. Somebody lost the scout report there. Fletcher going left. You've got to take that away.
I mean, he'll make those all evening if they keep giving him that, and Caledonia have to react faster.
Bailey looking to attack. Forced wide by Robertson, and the foul is called against him. And it'll be 2 free throws.
This is why Bailey can be so effective. He makes an error on the defensive end, picking up an early foul himself, but this time he attacks Robertson and gets him to commit the foul. So 2 important pieces of the puzzle for both teams now, picking up early fouls.
Bailey looking to get the Gladiators on the board. Rings out with the first free throw.
Unique thing about Bailey, he's got such a good motor, and he can score in a variety of ways. But his rebounding, 8.5 rebounds a game, which is unheard of for a guard. That's big man numbers right there.
Stealing them rebounds off you,
There's a couple guards over the years that have rebounded well. My former colleague Drew Lasker knows something a little bit about that.
Inside to Green, misses it, and puts it straight back in for 2.
Well, he's got a positive energy about him, hasn't he, Torres Green? 3 rebounds already, and as soon as he missed that pull, he knew he was the only one in this gym that was quick enough to react to get that and put it back.
Jimenez working the pick and roll. What a finish from Onwas, not quite. Offensive rebound from Tape with the putback.
Oh, and Tape this time showing his strength and size inside.
Dirk Williams going coast to coast. Drew Lasker's joined us in commentary. Great start for the Manchester Giants here.
Exactly what we talked about at the top of the show. Both teams like to play up-tempo. Manchester Giants with 8 quick points, looking to put their stamp on this game.
Bailey looking to put his stamp on the game, but unable to convert. Sloan trying to get the offensive rebound, and that will be a Manchester ball.
And looking at the other side, I know at the top of the show the narrative was the lack thereof defense from the Manchester Giants, but as you see Dirk with the effort there, I've been really impressed with their intent on the defensive end. They're locked in, they're engaged, they know this is a huge game, they're ready to go.
Robertson cutting back door is blocked by Tape, but Lee's there to clean it up.
Well, Tape's done his job there. He did a great a job there of getting across there quickly and challenging and blocking the shot, but it's again the focus of the Giants reacting first and getting the easy putback.
Well, an early timeout here for Gareth Murray. 7:25 on the clock. His team are 10-3 down. William Lee, 4 points already in the game. And earlier, we caught up with him.
William, last time we met, we were in the Christmas market, and you were injured, but 71 days later, how good is it to be back on the floor?
Oh, man, it's great to be back on the floor. Be back out there with my guys and battling.
20 points per game over your last 3 games. You feel like you're back at your best?
I'm not 100% back at my best, but I feel like I'm definitely on the right track to go on to the peak, so just got to stay focused and, but yeah, not 100% back yet.
And a lot of basketball to be played. What are the team goals?
Team goals, trying to finish top 3 in the league. We got to boost it up a little bit on the defensive end, just get stops and rack up stops on the defensive side. And, offense going to come, but defense win ball games.
And I've been following your gram. See, you've been in the kitchen. What you got on deck for the post-game meal?
I had some jerk chicken and rice and peas today before this game.
Nice. Thanks for your time, Will.
Of course, man. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, we talk about Manchester's defense. The one thing they do have is a guy like that who can block shots from anywhere. As somebody who was famously blocked by William Lee when he was at Leicester, Drew. Did I bring that up before?
Look at you, always bringing up old stuff, Dan, but you're right. One thing that he does is he erases the mistakes on the defensive end from the perimeter. Number 1 in blocks, and the Giants are happy to have him back in the lineup.
Robinson driving to the hole, takes the contact, and he will go to the line for 2 free throws.
When you say a point guard controls the floor, that's controlling the floor. That all starts with the intelligence and the cross the court high turnover risk pass by Ramon Fletcher, but he gets it on the money, which then sets Robertson out into the lane where the Caledonia Gladiators aren't even set up yet. Great push of the basketball. This is why this team scores so many points, because the ball is already out in those opportune positions before anyone in the gym's even ready.
Well, Al Durham into the game for the first time. Had a pretty decent debut last week. And he'll be looking to build on that. It takes a few weeks for a new guy, particularly coming in here in January, February time, to adjust to his team and find his role.
Absolutely. Not only find your role, but get in game shape. He played a little bit early in Greece, but he's been out a couple of weeks, and we're in the thick of the season, so it's always going to take players a while to get their legs into it.
Nice pass to Tape for the easy score.
That's excellent. You think Bailey's trying to exploit a mismatch down low, but uses his body, then finds Tape inside. He's not going to miss too many of those.
Dirk Williams for 3. He's not going to miss too many of them.
And that's the number 1 sniper in the British Basketball League, Dirk Williams. You can't leave him an inch of space.
Tape in the key. Comes back out. Jimenez kicks to the corner. Onwas, little hesitation, getting all the way to the rim for 2.
Onwas is so intelligent. Doesn't settle for the contested shot there. Gets an even better look inside.
Tape with the block from behind. He comes away with the ball.
Good defense inside there. 2 bigs doubling on Taj Green.
Well, there is a mismatch down low, but Durham getting to the basket, wiped out by Green.
Goodness, it was a beautiful move, but Green was just equal to it and swats that one away.
Robinson spinning. He's blocked by Tape. Still going with it. Fights his way through. That'll count. And the foul is called.
Wow, if you can't get it done the first time, try again. Robertson there, getting to his spots in the paint, finishes there strong over the defense.
The play before where Green just blocks that ball away, and the persistence here of Robertson. I mean, we've seen this throughout the season. This guy's energy, when channeled correctly, it's been such a positive impact for this club. It's when those energies there go astray. But Robertson, it's such a good motor.
Bailey now for the Gladiators. looking to attack himself, almost loses the ball, needs a bit of help. No, he doesn't. Puts the shot away. Stolen away by Tape. Back to Bailey. And he misses that one. Tape again on the offensive glass, and he does it himself.
Excellent work from Tape there. Just the persistence there and the strength. He's using his length, every single inch of it, and a nice finish, a well-deserved finish from Tape.
Fletcher trying to create room, step past Jimenez, and off the glass.
Wow, Ramon Fletcher there gets himself in the jam, gives him the up fake, takes a step through right off the glass for two.
And I thought that was relatively good on-ball defense from Jimenez. It was just better offense from the experienced vet, Ramon Fletcher.
Mid-range from Bailey, it's off the ball. Doug Williams. Williams down the lane, takes the contact, that one down, and it's going to be an unsportsmanlike, I think. Is it? Referee originally signaled unsportsmanlike as Dirk Williams goes through.
Wow, that was a difficult finish he had. Durham on his hip, and then Tape can test him. I don't know about an unsportsmanlike, I didn't see one of those, but certainly contact there, and Dirk Williams has ignited his offensive prowess on this game. 7 points personal for him.
And Dirk Williams not necessarily known for his strength there. Finishes and flexes and kisses the muscle and says, I've been in the weight room.
Well, you can see the Gladiators not convinced that was an unsportsmanlike foul either, but Dirk Williams is going to get a bonus free throw, and then it will be possession of the ball for Manchester.
I'm certainly not convinced. I'd love to see the interpretation of that one.
New Gladiators signing into the game for the first time this evening.
Free throw for Manchester to get the ball from the side.
Giants with a 13-point lead.
Williams. Finger launches it in, so he gets 4 points out of the play.
Dirk Williams is unplayable at the moment. That takes them 9 points for it. Haven't even finished the first quarter yet. Incredible.
Bailey is blocked by Lee. No, the foul is called, and he will shoot two.
Wow. Well, there's your rim protector. Before injury, William Lee was leading the BBL in block shots, and here he is, look, tracking Bailey down, and oh, great block shot. Again, I don't see a foul.
Tough play that, but yeah, tough break there on William Lee. And like you mentioned there and before, it's great to have him back in the lineup because from a guard's perspective, you can cheat up a little bit in the passing lanes. You can get more aggressive on the ball because you know if you get beat, he's going to be there to have your back.
Well, Giants with a 14-point lead here. Looking to extend it. Fletcher, little hesitation, tosses one in off the glass.
Ramon Fletcher now just doing whatever he wants on the offensive end. And for all the praise you give about Manchester Giants' focus, Caledonia Gladiators just aren't switched on.
Here's Ali Hodgson, his first real touch of the ball, kicks it out to the corner side of the board from Bailey. And Manchester come away with it. Green looks like he's hurt his hand. Williams fires up the three. Bailey with the rebound. Green didn't even come down court on that. And you can see he didn't contest. There's something not right with Taj Green.
That's bad news for the Giants if he can't shake that off. And as you say, Dan, it's not like him not to contest the shot there. That's what he does best.
Well, they're already a bit short on numbers with Nathan Robinson not being available. Here's Lee in the corner for three. He knocks down the triple.
This green machine is firing, and it doesn't look like Caledonia could slow it down whatsoever.
Almost behind the back of Ali Hodzic. Ali Hodzic underneath, trying to find some space, ripped away by Fletcher. Almost his shot doesn't go. Fletcher keeps it alive, great play. Dirk Williams for three. A little short. Green keeping it alive, and Green is found on the rebound. They're over the limit, so that'll be 2 free throws.
Wow, and you called it earlier, and the energy from the Manchester Giants, even in real life, their pace is incredible to watch as Green shakes off the wrist injury to battle for that rebound, and the Gladiators are playing a dangerous game here with one of the fastest teams in the league.
Very dangerous. If they don't wake up, this game is going to be far beyond. We're 2 minutes from the first quarter, and we're talking about the game already being out of reach. Caledonia have to react, or they're going to find themselves on the canvas early.
Lee will be replaced by Legend Roberti. I was talking to Vince McCauley before the game, and he said our average points by quarters, end of the first quarter, their average score is 23 to 30, so they normally give up 30 points in the first quarter, and then they chase it back in. They sort of win the quarters after that. I mean, we've seen in recent weeks they were down 15 almost every week in the first half, and usually by halftime they've got most of it back, and by the end they're in front. But tonight they have started on fire, up 18 here in the opening quarter.
Well, we know if they have any aspirations of contending or sneaking into that top four, if we look at those teams, one thing in common that they all four do is defend. And so the Manchester Giants, obviously at a crossroads as we're getting into the meat and potatoes of the season, have to improve on that side of the ball and doing a great job at it so far tonight.
Sloan in the key. That will count. He'll go to the line for an extra free throw.
One of much needed. Couple of points there from their leading scorer, David Sloan. Good penetration inside, going straight at the 7-footer. Burton is high over his long outreached hands.
Well, Lee went out in the last break of play. I think they did want to take Green out, but didn't want to risk him missing a free throw and therefore not being able to make a substitution, so they switched him around. Green has gone right to the end of the bench to get that hand checked out, I think.
Well, we hope it isn't anything serious. As you look at that Manchester bench, it's already thin, as they can't afford to leave their main man, the box office here for the Manchester Giants top three.
Yeah, this roster's been assembled. It's more quality over quantity. Yeah. So when one of those pieces goes out, the team really feels the pinch.
This is where it happened. See if you can see it. Whether it's just a hyperextension of the wrist or something. Burton inside. There's a late whistle, but a foul is going to go against Ali Hodzic.
It's a really good matchup there, and Coach Vince McCauley had identified that and put Robertin in the game to match up against Ferro Ali Hodzic. Two really big, strong centers in there.
You get the feeling that both of them are happy to see the other on court, because they're the sort of guy they like to bang up against, rather than maybe chasing Taj Green round or something like that.
Yeah, and Farrow is a specimen himself. He's 6'10", he's built and broad shoulders. But when you look at legend Robertin, he's 7'1", even broader shoulders, even bigger frame. So yeah, but I think you're right, Dan, that the two styles definitely work out in their favor in terms of, you know, guarding each other and matching up.
And you're saying as soon as Robertson sub in, Farrell's on the bench saying, Coach, is it my turn yet?
I'd be doing that if I was him. Anything you've got to do to get an extra minute here or there.
Sloan turning the Jets on Euro in his way through, kicks it out. Durham misses the three. Good hand on that from Sloan. And Ali Hodzic able to come up with it. Sloan rocking and rolling, kicks it back out to Durham for three, knocks it down this time.
It's a big shot there, and David Sloan now trying to be a little bit more aggressive. He's penetrating not just for his own shot, but for his teammates, and Durham lined that one up and knocked it down. Big play.
Lewis. Got to shoot it. Needs to go up. Jones gets it too late. And the Manchester Giants have a 24-second violation.
Excuse me, Dan? I never ever thought that you were going to say that in this game. The Manchester Giants just have a 24-second shot clock violation. Wow, clip that one up, ladies and gentlemen, because that could be a rarity.
Sloan around the high screen.
Sloan is so nice getting downhill because he has the threat inside the paint, and also he can stop short and hit that mid-range jumper.
Lee looking for the handoff. 5 on the game clock. Lewis under pressure. Back iron. And that will do it for an excellent first quarter for the Manchester Giants. Vince McCauley's team came out led by as many as 18, but Gareth Murray and the Gladiators have trimmed a little out of that deficit. We're at the end of one here in Manchester. It's 31-20. We'll have the second quarter after this break. Welcome back to Manchester, where the Giants lead this one by 11. Caledonia with the opening possession of the second quarter, looking to get it back into single figures. Rodgers along the baseline, spins into trouble. Lee knocks it loose.
Defensively as well, Manchester's a little bit sharper on the rotations. You see the two bigs that collapse on Alan Hodges as soon as he catches the ball and gets him to commit a turnover.
In the key for holding Robertson. It's his second foul. First player to get there, he'll have to sit down.
And that's the thing about joining a new league, even though Faro has been in the BBL before, is adjusting to the style of play, adjusting to how the game is refereed as he picks up 2 quick fouls.
I think that's harder for the bigs as well, especially somebody like Faro. He's traditional European five played across Europe, of course, and it is ref differently in the BBL. Well, lean back in. Seems to be okay so far.
Haven't been seen enough. As Ramon Fletcher walks to the scoreboard there.
Dropped off Durham, and one thing we have learned in the first couple of weeks is he can shoot the ball. He's not shy putting it up.
Absolutely, 40% at Indiana University, and declared for the NBA draft after his sophomore season. So you're talking about a guy.
Green hits a three right back.
Oh, you see, Green, when he's got enough time and space, he's really comfortable shooting that. And, you know, it's not, you don't ordinarily see a guy of his size and energy and the impact he has on the inside to be able to step up and shoot.
Malcolm throwing it inside to Tape. Tape going the long way round, but a good finish.
That's beautiful. He got real low there and used his body, and then outstretched left-hand finish, so the shot blocker couldn't reach it. Nice play.
Fletcher came back in that last break of play for Robertson, which is not a normal substitution, 1 for 5, but there you go. Fletcher trying to draw the foul there, and eventually the whistle comes his way with Malcolm called for it.
Oh, that's a unique sequence of plays there. Right, Bailey was trying to do the overhead kick, and then there's enough contact there where he could have blew the whistle 3 or 4 times before the foul was realized.
Fletcher back to Lee. He's too good a shooter to be left that wide open. Dodged the bullet there, Caledonia.
Yeah, they've been up with their rotations. Number of open threes here for the Giants.
Durham with the acceleration, but the pass is stolen away. Lee on the trail, takes it hard, and followed by Callum Jones.
Callum Jones, so experienced. And he follows that ball, and a big collision there in the middle, but no call.
It looked like it might have been a charge there. It looked like Jones might have got his feet set. But nothing doing. There's a wrap-up between Jones and Tape. They're both looking at each other, and it is number 10 Green that's shown to the table.
I think that was a good call on that occasion. That one, though, I'm not so sure.
There's a lot of contact for nothing, isn't there?
There is.
And we know the rule. You got to give the offensive player a chance to land and take their first step, which Callum Jones did there, and looked like a clear foul to me.
Here's Sloan. Back to Bunyan into the game for the first time. One West taking it hard, and there's a foul call. I think it might be on Green rather than Lee. It is number 1 that's signaled.
Well, Caledonia have done a good job of attacking. You know, the shot block is in there. You know, arguably 2 of the best in Green and Lee. But it's a no-fear mentality, and Caledonia have clawed the way back in this game by being aggressive in that nature.
And Owens has been the glue to this Gladiator team all season. A fun fact comes from Katy, Texas. I got a chance to train him when he was in high school, so we go way back there. I'm proud of the young man living out his dream in professional basketball.
I've been waiting 13 minutes for that one to come out, the Katy, Texas shout out.
You know, I had to save it for the right moment.
And what he has done since Katy, Texas, you know, he's an experienced journeyman in the sense he's played in Australia, Spain, Germany. You know, and he's got that experience, you know, head about him as well. Being able to score 20 points on one night, or grab 15 rebounds on another, or look to distribute the basketball. He's got that ability to mold his game into what the team needs, and that piece of a puzzle for me is priceless.
Here's Fletcher. Lee at the free throw line off the mark. Green with the offensive rebound, trying to jam it in, but unable to convert.
Goodness me, the ambition of Green there to try and drop a dunk there on Tape.
On West, corner 3. Tape again on the offensive glass. Out to Sloan for 3. Rebound Green this time. Wow.
Good rebound out on court at the moment. Going after every ball.
That's on the floor. It won't count for Fletcher. Foul on Bunyan first.
Wow. Ramon Fletcher getting downhill, putting Bunyan in a blender there, and I've seen that many, many times there. Still playing at a high level at the tender age of 34.
Seeing that as he went past you in practice, is that right?
No, I was the only one that could defend him, actually.
Yeah.
You can ask him. I know the scouting report on that guy.
We all know the scout report. Knowing the scout report is not the problem. Taking it away is the problem.
Exactly.
I think there's a little moisture on the ball. They're going to use the mop.
Oh, wow.
That's different.
By any means necessary, I guess.
Well, it's a long way from that COVID year where we would swap balls every couple of minutes, isn't it?
Yep. I mean the natural evolution to when we're mopping the ball now. It's come a long way down.
Williams for 3. Again, Green on the offensive glass. Both teams really crashing it. Nice pass. Roberson squeezes it home. Wow.
Just the energy there is incredible. And credit to Roberson as well. Didn't stay still. Wasn't ball watching. Kept moving. And his teammate found him.
Tape out to Bunyan with the head fake. Steps underneath. This is the mid-range though. There's another offensive rebound. I don't know why he didn't go up there. Seemed the pass was more difficult. Well, the Gladiators somewhat in rock and roll situation there. Managed to get the ball out. As Sloan drives up and somehow tosses it up.
Wow. Better be good than lucky there, right?
Goodness me. That's how you score 20 points a game.
Fletcher's 3 is short. Sloan in the open court. He's tough to stop. Getting all the way. Gets his own rebound as well. Still can't score. Malcolm this time. I think the foul is before the rebound. I'm not sure the basket is going to count. Let's see what it is. 24 for the hold is Robertson, but I think it was on the rebound as opposed to the foul. I think the score. I think that's the foul there.
On Onwas, yeah, the foul. Robertson coming on Onwas.
And you ask a question, Dan, why didn't Malcolm shoot that shot earlier? But when you have the shot blocking ability as a giant, trust me, as a guard, you second guess every decision there in the paint.
As Tape knocks down the 3.
Wow, we don't often see that. Patrick Tape.
Just his 4th made 3 of the season. 4 and 7 though. Maybe he takes 1 or 2 more.
Awesome stop him. 11 points personal for him.
Robinson in the corner. Attacking hard. Tapping a little piece of that. And away comes Onwas. He stumbles but gets it to Malcolm, who's able to lay it in.
And that's the way the Gladiators are going to crawl back into this game, by doing it on the defensive end and getting out in the fast break where they lead the British Basketball League in that department.
Foul off the ball on Malcolm. His second personal. He will sit down, just bumping Roberson as he's trying to make his way towards the lane.
And those are the guys that Coach Murray's going to need to step up. Your Malcolm, Bunyan, those are the guys that are so big to what the Caledonia Gladiators do.
Deflected up in the air and out of bounds. 6 on the shot clock for Manchester. Green taking it hard, tipped in for his own rebound.
Bringing there to clean things up with the use of the long arms there attached to the frame, and having a great start to this game today. 8 points, 10 rebounds.
Goodness goodness me, 10 rebounds already. 4 minutes to play of the half, and that just shows you the level of his activity and dominance inside going after the basketball. Remarkable.
And speaking of that activity, 6 of those have come on the offensive glass, so Green really got his hard hat on tonight.
Nice pass. Oh, blocked! Or is it? It's a goaltend. Green getting it off the glass rather than before the glass. And obviously, the last time they were here, there were a couple of calls, including the last one. That's a good call.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, a really good call.
But a great simple play there by Owens, just coming off that little back screen shuffle. And sometimes the game is very simple.
Well, if you didn't see it, the last time Caledonia were in this building, Taj Green blocked Sloan virtually on the buzzer for what would have been the game-winning score. And it was very close line between goaltend and block. And it was called block, which was probably right, but it was very tight.
I had to watch it like 10 times to try and give a verdict. In my opinion, it could have went either way.
And it was talked about on Twitter for about 2 hours post-game.
Nice pass. Bailey wants a flop on Fletcher. Fletcher wanted a charge, and in the end, the referee's happy with just the dunk counting.
There's contact, but you can see Ramon Fletcher was looking for that one just because he's oversized there. Bailey is 6'4", 6'5", and nice pass inside from Tappe, who's not in a ball game right now. 13 points, leading his team in scoring.
And I'm going to stick up for the big man on that one. I say play on. Great no call there by the ref, like you mentioned. And it's not his fault that he's bigger than the smaller guard there. And a lot of times we see guards trying to take advantage by flopping or falling down. So great decision there by the ref.
Fletcher's 34 years of age. He's been in the league since 2014. He's a 2-time MVP. He's just trying to get a call.
Maybe they'll miss him.
Kicks it out to Lewis. The 3 off the mark. Rebound Bailey. Sloan is out in front. Tappe. Sloan has it now. And he knocks it down. And Manchester's lead was as big as 18. It is now just 2.
And we know one thing about the Giants, as explosive as they are, they will allow you back in the game because of their lack of depth. The pace that they play is not sustainable for 40 minutes.
Lewis along the baseline, no room there. Fletcher with time running out, loses the ball. Caledonia with the chance to tie it up. Or even take the lead. Not quite.
It's a big shot there, and that's what you'd want. You'd want David Sloan putting that one up there.
Lee with a lot of room. Sloan getting the rebound.
It's like Giants have got that incredible turbo button, haven't they? But it does run out, and they go through these periods where
Bunyan, that's the guy who wants taking the 3. Johnny Bunyan in the corner, down as many as 18 in the first half. But with 2 minutes to go in the second quarter, it is the Manchester Giants 40, Caledonia Gladiator 41. Timeout called by London. Well, we were talking about Farah Alihodzic coming back to the BBL. Drew caught up with him a little earlier.
Farah, lots of experience around Europe. What inspired the choice to return back to the UK?
Oh, it was mainly to do with my family. Bringing them back to the UK, that was, the main goal. I love to see how the league has grown. From the outside looking in, the league is getting better, it's getting stronger. It's appealing to be back here again, and I'm glad to be back. Along with my ex-GB peers, and it's good to see the same guys again that I grew up with, even.
And a very solid debut. What do you bring to this team?
Mainly experience. I think one thing I did look at before I came to the Caledonia Gladiators is that the average age was about 25. And I'm a good few years older than that. So I've come in and I've trying to bring some experience for these guys, trying to bring teach them some stuff that I've learned abroad, and that's been my main thing. Try to be a leader for them.
Finally, thoughts on facing your old coach?
Oh no, it's going to be good to see him. You know, I want to get the win. You know, yeah, he's a great guy, Vince. You know, I'm glad that he brought me to London when he did. You know, but it's good to see him now in Manchester as well. You know, that's how the league is, and the guys are moving around. And you know, now I'm on a different team, and he's on a different team, and it's just going to be great to see those guys.
Thanks for your time.
Well, he's a guy from down the road from you, really. So you've obviously gone up against him a lot. He worked out when he was out of a job with when you were at Leicester. You trained a lot against him. He's a big unit coming into this Gladiators team.
He's as strong as he looks, by the way, Dan. But yes, we spent a couple of number 3 from Johnny Bunyan, same spot. You have to get out to him. But Farrell Hodges has been that strong post player, made a career of Europe, had a successful career, went to the University of Alabama, Birmingham, same as this guy on the ball here, Dirk Williams. So he's from a high caliber there over in America where he learned his trade.
Sloan. Long 2. Rebound comes all the way out to Bailey. And Gladiators, this has been tortoise and hare, hasn't it, this first half?
Yes.
And the tortoise is winning, and the tortoise is stretching its lead to 6.
Just look exhausted, don't they?
They do.
It's like they've went out the gates too quickly, and they're just holding on for dear life until half-time.
31 points in the first quarter for the Manchester Giants, just 9 in the second, and they might not even get to double figures. Caledonia scored 20 and upped it to 26, and a chance to add. Bunyan, I thought he was going to let another one fly there. Bailey at the free throw line. Again, they crashed the glass so well. Sloan misses, but a foul will give him another go at it. Caledonia double figures now on the offensive glass.
And Patrick Tate has to be commended for that. He takes up so much space in there, and although it was David Sloan who got the offensive rebound, that wouldn't have happened unless Patrick Tate was down in there fighting for possession as well.
Well, they've gang rebounded. That's the thing. They've got 4 guys with 2. They've got 6 guys offensive rebounding. At the other end of the floor, it's been mainly Taj Green. He's got 6 of Manchester's 9 offensive rebounds. And when loads of guys are going at it, it's even harder. And Tape stretches their lead to 8. Last 10 seconds of the first half. Fletcher. Foul is called against Bunyan. They're over the limit, so it will be 2 free throws. There's a little bit of chatter out there on court. Bunyan having a word with the referee, but there's a few other words being exchanged between the 2 teams by the free throw line.
Well, remember, it was only beginning of this month when they had that high-intense 95-94 encounter, so there's a lot of things that hang over and sort of transition into the next game when you meet again, so I'm not surprised to see a little bit of extra verbal there between the 2 teams.
Particularly the way that game played out. Caledonia felt like they should have won the game. Ignoring the final call, they felt like they kind of gave it away. Dirk made some shots at the end. Fletch made some plays, as they do. But the Gladiators felt like they had that one won and then kind of just gave it away in the last couple of minutes, which adds to all of what you were just talking about.
Yeah, and they're right next to each other in the league as well. The Giants 10-9, Gladiators 9-10. So this is 2 teams here that are grappling for those higher positions in the league. Really very little between these 2 clubs. You know, obviously when you look at the consistency they've had this year, I would say that the most off-form out of the 2 at the moment are Caledonia. They've only picked up that win against Plymouth in their last 5.
They will go into the lead, into the half with the lead. Have they got time for one last shot? 1.9. Sloan from inside his own half, no good. And we're at the end of a topsy-turvy first half. Manchester Giants came out on fire, led by 18 points in the first quarter. But Vince McCauley's team will head into the locker rooms down 6 here and work to do in the second half. And it was the energy and the high tempo of Manchester Giants versus the evenness and the relentlessness on the glass of the Caledonia Gladiators in that first half.
Yeah, I felt like Caledonia did a good job just to hang around. You could see the supreme dominance from Giants. You had Derek Williams hitting shots. You had Ramon Fletcher, orchestrating the offense. Then you had William Lee doing his thing. And you could see early on it was that dominance from Giants that switched on its head.
Well, 5 of 12 from behind the arc, thanks to a couple from Johnny Bunyan as well for the Caledonia Gladiators, is why they lead. Let's get some reaction. Dirk Williams is with Drew.
Dirk, after an explosive first quarter from yourselves, how were the Gladiators able to get themselves back into this one?
I think it was just all us. We lost our sense of urgency down the stretch. I'm going to go in and talk to the guys because I felt like, we started to separate as a group. We just got to get our sense of urgency back.
And 23 points a game in January for yourself. 9 quick early points here. How were you able to find your spots?
I just let Fletcher and those guys find me. We got some good offense going where it's getting me open right now. So I'm just trying to find my open spots and just take my shots where I'm open.
And you spoke about the locker room. Put your coaching hat on. What will Coach Vince be saying there to you guys at halftime?
Right now, it's probably just about the offensive rebounding. Like I said before, our lack of sense of urgency. And, we just got to get back to our normal basketball that we were in the first quarter.
Thanks for your half, Dirk. Good luck in the second half.
Yeah, I'm guessing Coach McCauley is going to have one or two choice words for his players at the half, because they were 11 points up after that blistering first quarter, but find themselves somehow in a 6-point hole at the half. Reaction and analysis coming next. Well, we did warn you. We did tell you the Manchester Giants are a roller coaster. And that half of basketball sums up Manchester's season. It's one thing knowing the Giants are an offensive juggernaut. It's another thing stopping them. And Caledonia had no answer for them in the first quarter. But what a turnaround. Kieran, you and I were saying that no one's going to want to meet the Giants in the playoffs in this kind of form. They were 11 up after that first quarter. They're now going in down 6, a 17-point swing. What changed?
They just couldn't score. 31 points in that first quarter. That second quarter, everybody was missing. And no one wants to face the Giants in the playoffs when they're playing like they were in the first quarter. I'm sure most teams would take them in the second quarter.
But credit to Caledonia's defence as well, because that really stepped up in the second quarter.
And that's the thing about this inconsistent team, the Gladiators this season. They can show that they can do it, but they only do it in spells. They were locked in that second quarter, which allowed them to get that freedom to start scoring offensively.
Dirk Williams' performance reflective, I think, of the Giants' overall offensive performance. He came out flying, on fire in that first quarter. All of his 9 points coming down. He got nothing in the second. Although, Kieran, interestingly, he's not his usual prolific self from downtown. He's just 1 of 5 from the three-point range tonight.
Yeah, that second quarter he stopped dropping, but in the first quarter they were getting stopped and getting out and running. Or when the Gladiators did score, it was a tough basket. They were out to the races and scoring again. So I think that balance, when the Gladiators start scoring, it really slows the Giants down.
David Sloan, a player that impressed us very much in that first quarter as well. We were thinking about profiling him, but then Patrick Tape stepped up with a brilliant all-round performance, shooting over 80%. 5 boards and a steal as well. Just a brilliant all-round performance from him.
He's caused so many problems for the Giants, offensive rebounds. He's finishing around the basket, making it so hard because he's got length. He's got length on the Giants, and that makes all the difference in this game. When those shots are dropping, again, offensive rebound, nice finish, even knocking down some three-point shots. But this is that athleticism. Remember, when it compares him to me, he can jump. He can jump.
Okay. I stand corrected as well. 6 boards. I denied him a rebound there as well. Probably the best player on the court in the first half. Brilliant performance from him. Now, Drew has been kept busy all night long. He was with us in pre-game, wasn't he? Then he went over with Ant and Dan in comms. He chatted to Dirk just at the end of the first half, and now he's found a European champion courtside.
Thanks, Nat. I'm here with Ella Toon. Welcome to British basketball.
Thank you.
Fast-paced game. What are your thoughts on the game so far?
Yeah, I'm loving it. My first basketball game, so just trying to learn the rules, but it's such an exciting sport, and the game's been great so far, so hopefully the Manchester Giants can kick on and get that win.
And I'm assuming that you touched the basketball before. Just describe your game to us.
Yeah, I've tried it. I've tried every sport. I was good at netball growing up, but this is completely different. I think I'd be a bit skillful on the court, but I'm not sure about my height would go well.
Yeah, I believe in you. But just talk a little bit about, since the success of the Euros, how your life has changed.
Yeah, it's changed massively, but it's been amazing. I think, obviously, since the summer, I get recognised a lot more walking down the street. But I think just being a role model to so many young girls getting involved in the sport now, it's amazing. And long may that continue, and long may me being a role model continues, and I just want to help as many girls as I can get involved in sport.
Right, and just to finish off, just talk about the growth of the women's game over the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's been amazing, and there's still such a long way to go, but it's come so far in the past couple of years. For me, growing up, there wasn't that many women's footballers to look up to, and now everyone recognises us, and it's amazing, and we just want to keep growing the game.
Well, we will continue watching. Ella, thank you for your time. Fellas, back over to you.
Thanks very much, Drew. Great to see Ella in the house, and glad to see she's enjoying her basketball as well. It's interesting just connecting the dots of the inspirational factor the Lionesses have had on a whole generation. You can apply that very much to the London Lionesses as well. That team in particular is inspiring so many young players. We saw it firsthand in Birmingham, didn't we?
They are taking it to another level, but the big thing, what Ella mentioned there, is that awareness. Finding a way to get it out to a wider audience so they can inspire and be those role models that they deserve to be.
Absolutely, well said. Right, speaking of the finals on Sunday, we've changed things up a little bit this half-time because, of course, as you well know, it is Kieran Achara's favourite moment of the week, plays of the week, but we've swung it a little bit on its head tonight for you. It's plays of the Cup finals, and in particular, dunks from the Cup finals. Check this out.
Low to Nelson Henry. It's a clean block. I thought that was on the way down.
Wow. Sharma came across there out of nowhere and just swatted that away.
Ireland cutting to the hole. What a block. Get that out of here. Herbert Harrigan with a monster block.
That's that's why Holly Winterburn is so difficult to stop. She's a 6-foot guard, and you just see her dancing her way through the rim there. She moves like a ballerina, a 6-foot ballerina. It's remarkable. He's leapfrogged all 3 of them, and he was high enough above the rim to dunk it down. The judges like it.
Oh, they love it. There you go. 3 10s in a row, and he deserved it on that one.
Kenji at the elbow knocks it down.
That's his second shot from the elbow. He loves that little mid-range area. Really, he's a little bit of physicality to get Taylor off of him and knock it down.
Now, critics out there will suggest that I was trying to lead you into your judgment there by emphasizing the dunks in our favorite plays of the week for all plays of the Cup finals, because you didn't anoint any of the dunkers with your trademark catchphrase, did you? Are you going to change that up tonight?
I feel that I need to redeem myself. That Hensey Sacco dunk, it was disgusting.
Oh, I'm glad you did. I think he deserved it. Did the 3 guys, the assistants, deserve that as well? Was that mainly for him?
They did nothing. I heard a lot of them, a lot of followers on Instagram, I heard, but yeah, they didn't do enough other than bend down.
I beg to differ. I think that was a key part of it. Well, congratulations. You got it in the end. I hope the week was worth the wait. Right then. Second half coming up, and it is a crucial 2 quarters of basketball as far as the Giants are concerned, because they have an opportunity to climb the table and turn this game around. Second half coming next. So in the first quarter, we saw the freewheeling match, the Giants putting up 31 points against the Gladiators. The second quarter, they spluttered, they stumbled, just 11. Which match the team we're going to see in the third quarter? Let's find out and get back to Ant and Dan.
Who knows now? I'm going to throw that one straight to Hans. Let him answer it.
Your guess is as good as mine. We saw 2 quarters there, and they couldn't have been any different. I'm already intrigued to see how this third quarter is going to pan out.
Well, it's the Giants who get the first offense of the second half. Fletcher back to lead. Rims out for the 3.
Well, that's an area they're a little bit down on at the moment, just 27% in the first half from the 3-point line. They usually average 36, 37%, so you know, there's some potential increases in percentages there to be had in this second half of the Giants.
Sloan just behind Tape and out of bounds.
Yeah, not a great look. Great intention, but poor execution, and pass was way behind Tape, who was catching everything in the first half.
7 of 8 shooting for 15 points and 6 rebounds, 23 efficiency. Those are full game numbers, never mind first half numbers for Patrick Tape.
Yeah, he's had a great second part of the season so far for the Gladiators.
Fletcher looking to attack, gets his shot away off the glass. Robertson with the offensive rebound and the putback.
And that's a way to start chipping yourself back into a game. Use your energy players, Robertson, Green, Lee, to grab those offensive rebounds and get those easy putbacks.
Well, they lost one, gave him straight to the basket, and he took full advantage.
He's so quick, that first step.
Derek Williams' floater falls short and out of bounds.
Good news for Gladiators as well. David Sloan in good flow himself. 11 points personal for him, and he's got 3 assists to go with that as well. So someone who's on MVP watch early in this game.
Slow, nice pass. Oh, Tape went to jam it over Green. And Green has got called for the foul.
Wow. 2 of the best players on court going at it there. Nice pass inside to Tape, and goodness me, both up high above the rim. Was it enough for a foul? Yes, it was.
Well, there are 2 guys there who are not averse to being in the highlight plays of the weekend, and they both went for a highlight play right there.
That's what we want to see. We want to see the best competitors do what they do best. And as you say, Dan, those are 2 high flyers there that we're more than frequently seen in the top 5 plays.
Tape converts the free throw. Skip over to Green. Shot clock getting low. Green has to get it off. Can't convert. Bailey pulls in the rebound.
Poor offense there from the Giants. Way too much dribbling there. Ball stayed in the corner with Dirk Williams. No movement. And then a forced fadeaway shot from Green.
Well, they do have a tendency at times to get a little static and just rely on one player's talent, Manchester. Green with the rebound. Of course, it helps when you've got players as talented as they do. Here's one of them, but his shot is blocked. It's going to be a foul, and there's going to be 3 free throws for Dirk Williams.
Oh, I'd have to see that one again, but as you say, good push of the basketball from Fletcher, and it found its way to Dirk Williams, who is deemed to have got fouled on the 3-point line. He'll have 3 free throws here.
You're not buying that foul then, no?
I'm not sure. It wasn't conclusive for me.
I thought Dirk got some contact there.
Oh, you might be right. I mean, there was a lot of hand on ball as well.
Well, Onwas, got called for it. Probably just muttering, "Ball don't lie," as that free throw rolls out. Not the cleanest second free throw, but they all count for a point. Two out of 3. for Derek Williams. Tappe, Sloan. Oh, that is great change of direction. Couldn't quite finish it.
So many tricks in the bag, isn't he? And that's why he's averaging 20 points a game. Talking about tricks in the bag, Ramon Fletcher working his magic, dancing through the lane.
That's the second foul on Sloan. No real foul trouble in the game. Nobody has gone past 2 yet on either team. And that is going to be an offensive foul on Taj Green, who will be the first player to 3 fouls.
And on West, just good body positioning, such an intelligent player. We see him do this week in, week out. Quick movement there of the feet to make sure his body's in position. And then you even see the contact as well as the push off there from the arm, making it relatively easy there for the referee to call.
I think the shot clock might have started a little late there. So the referee is just asking them to tick down a little bit. So it's gone down to 20. Bailey gets to the elbow. Takes the 3, puts it on the floor, steps underneath. Did he get it away? Yes, he did, just in time.
Good trickery there from Bailey, and it's an easy basket for him. Near turnover there from Roberson.
Well, the shot clock got reset there as well. It never really turned over possession. And the referee's coming over just to chat with the 24-second shot clock operator, who must have thought that Glasgow got the ball when Robertson lost it, but he didn't.
I think that might work out in the Giants' favour, though, because that offense looked like it was doomed from the start. Robertson almost lost it a couple of times from the pressure from the Gladiators' defence.
Well, this is one where the shot clock got all the way down, but he just gets it away in time to beat the buzzer.
And Jeremiah Bailey's the guy that they get so much from on both ends of the floor. They're going to need him as well to find his groove offensively. He's had a bit of a start-stoppy game. To have a little bit of an extended period on the bench. He's a guy, 14 points a game, 8.5 rebounds. Gareth Murray here coaching for the side, making use of his free time while this game is stopped.
Well, they've gone with 17 on the shot clock, so that's what Manchester have to work with. Fletcher knocks it down from the top of the key.
So tough shot there. He measured up the defender, and you can see he played at his own speed there.
Bailey had Lee on his heels for a second, and that's why he was able to draw the foul.
Oh, Bailey was so aggressive, attacking the rim there. You see him go out for a shot and almost hit some innocent bystanders there in the crowd. But good attack of the rim there, getting the William Lee to commit the foul. And here's the play before where Ramon Fletcher just easing himself into that jump shot. Looked effortless.
Bailey now 7 points to go with his 7 rebounds, 3 assists, couple of steals. Makes them both lead out to 8. It's as big as it's been in the game so far for Caledonia. Robertson spinning and can't get up and underneath past Tape. Well, the pass got reflected to it, fell short into the hands of Dirk Williams. To Lee, and Lee with the lay-in.
Great touch to the basketball there. Dirk Williams made the right decision. He kept it for a dribble or two longer, which sucks in the defense, and a running William Lee for the easy layup.
He's blocked by Taj Green.
Wow. You think it's unreachable, but Green finds a way. It's a basket-saving block from Taj Green, chasing down Onwas, and oh, wow.
Just got a fingertip to that. How high he gets up to deflect that ball.
It's remarkable. 2 blocks here for him this evening, but how many shots has he changed just knowing that he's in a round? And it does affect you psychologically as an offensive player. You're forever looking, your eyes in the back of your head. Where's William Lee? Where's Green?
Lee under pressure. Rebound pulled in by the Gladiators. Sloan working the pick and roll, and that is Ali Hodges' game, but his footwork was great, his finish less so. Lee, we were talking earlier, the matchups for somebody of the size and power of Ali Hodges. Lee again, he'd prefer Robertson out there, wouldn't he?
That's a really difficult matchup for Ali Hodges there. Ooh. See Ramon Fletcher getting hit to the face there, the player 2 before. Still doesn't lose the ball though. He's still got the boys dribbling the ball while assessing his injury.
Lee doesn't make the first from the foul line. Giants have missed 5 free throws today. Backing down. Conversely, it's not an easy matchup for Lee at this end of the floor.
No, it's not, especially when Ali Hodges makes powerful moves towards the rim such as that, but wasn't able to get it to land.
Good hands from Bailey to deny Fletcher. Now he's running the floor, going straight down the middle, and Ali Hodges might have tipped that in, I'm not sure.
But either way, Caledonia running the floor and going straight to the rim and finishing.
Been given to Bailey. Fletcher taking it in. And again, Gladiators looking to push the ball. Williams sized up against Ali Hodges this time. Dirk gets a little hand on that. 4.6 on the shot clock.
Well, he needed to too, because had Dirk Williams mistimed that one, it would have been an open 3 for Al Durham in the opposite side of the court, which, based on his numbers today, more than likely would have knocked it down.
Well, my sense was Gareth Murray would have much preferred to see Bailey shoot the ball than pass it. Bunyan back into the game. Speaking of guys who he'd be happy to see shoot the ball, this needs to go up. Onwas for 3. Bunyan on the offensive glass, but Manchester come away with it. Williams, that's going to be a block. It doesn't go, and he'll shoot 2.
Well, Bailey played the honesty card. He tried to foul before half court. Referee doesn't call it, then puts his hand up. And then Onwas. Oh, you know what? It wasn't as obvious as I first thought in slow motion.
Williams at the line, trying to cut this gap.
Dirk Williams, of course, BBL experience, played with Sheffield Sharks, London Lions last season, and carrying on where he left off. We saw him on a really loaded roster last year, find his way and still lead his team and scored in a lot of games. He came over to Giants now and doing much of the same.
Hodges trying to use his pace along the baseline, but he's going to get caught for the hook.
Ali Hodges had to go up against lots of different defenders. This time it was against Legend Robertson, the 7'1" centre, and I don't think he stepped out of bounds. If that's offensive fouls, that's his fourth.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Gareth Murray's left him in the game.
Well, he did signal to his coach that he didn't want to come out. I think Fletcher was passing that and Roberto wasn't expecting it. And they got numbers here.
Good hustle from Onwest and good control to keep it in bounds. It looked like he was on a tightrope over there, and easy dunk finish there for Bailey.
Fletcher for three. Misses. Rebound Bailey. Dirk Williams chasing back for the steal. And Bailey's going to get called for the foul. Caledonia over the limit. So Dirk will walk the length of the floor for 2 free throws.
Great hustle from Dirk Williams. You could see he had that on his mind the whole way. He was running back. But also it's a quick foul on Bailey. And if it meant to do it out of frustration, it's not a smart one, because you're putting Dirk Williams on the line here with the clock stopped.
Dirk Williams steps to the line to shoot 2.
Dirk Williams has missed 3 free throws today. He is 4 of 7 from the free throw line. He's normally in the 70s from this sort of distance. That will wipe his feet.
Well, we could expect to be higher just because he shoots 48% from the three-point line, which is remarkable. He's got such a pure jump shot as well. His technique, very fluid.
Durham driving in, scooping it up. Green is out in front. Fletcher spins past, gets it to Dirk Williams. And somehow Caledonia scramble it away. Bunyan got a long way into that three-point shot. Durham is fouled before he's blocked, so he will shoot 2.
Well, this time Durham attacking the rim. Going right at Legend Robertson. Well, it looks pretty clean to me from the big man, but
caught him on the arm before the block. The block was clean, but there was a foul a little lower on the arm.
I'm not looking down there, Dan.
No.
I'm only seeing
Look at the highlights. Nicholas Lewis returns to the game as Dirk Williams sits down, the leading scorer on the Manchester team with 14 points. Caledonia lead. They've got to 8 a few times. They haven't got past 8. Fletcher lobbing it to Green. He's out of bounds. And it's a Caledonia ball.
Giants just trying to make something happen there, and you can sort of see that their energy levels are wavering again. Not quite as high intense as you feel the Gladiators are playing with at the moment.
Bunyan loses the ball, knocked away by Fletcher. Fletcher's waving his team to attack, but it's knocked away. Ali Hodzic will get the easiest jam of the game.
Oh, he deserved it. He was the guy that poked the ball away, stayed with the play, and gets his just rewards of a dunk.
And for the first time, the team from Scotland are up by double figures.
You think back to the first quarter, such a change of events here.
Fletcher gets 3 much-needed points for Manchester.
I don't think the Giants have done just that, and Ramon Fletcher pops up for a big one.
Durham has to go quick here. He fires up the 3, and off the back of the iron. And that will do it for a third quarter where largely they traded scores. And there is a 7-point Caledonia lead at the end of the third period. Manchester, though, well known for their fourth quarter comebacks. Can they mount another here, or will Caledonia hang on? We'll have the fourth quarter after this. Welcome back to the National Basketball Performance Centre in Manchester, where the Giants trail by 7. Caledonia with the ball. Durham kicked into the corner. Malcolm hits the side of the board. Onwas fighting for that rebound. Hodzic attacked hard. He didn't have much time to work with, but great work from him.
He's done really well there. He's faced up. He's kept his composure, and nice power move with a left-hand finish.
Lewis off the mark. And there's a foul. I think Roberta just easing Onwas out of the way for that rebound. No, it's number 10. So it's Onwas who's called for the foul. That's Onwas' 4th foul.
Well, that's the Gladiators just because he's had a good game, strong game, 6 points. 7 rebounds, 4 assists, but he's been that guy making those extra plays that make a difference.
Lewis looking for some help. I think that was a lob towards Robertson rather than a shot. Either way, it didn't end up well for him.
The problem Giants have here, they're not known as lockdown defenders, so they've got to score the basketball. And there's no flow at the moment in their offense.
Oh, Bailey, there didn't look any room for him there, but he found something to squeeze it home.
He's heated up. 14 points personal for him now.
Robertson going strong. Alehodzic has to be a little tentative on 4 fouls.
Yeah, good way to exploit that as well. Legend Robertson took his time, used his body, used his strength.
Durham driving, and takes the foul from Lewis. A bonus free throw coming his way.
Well, professional performance so far from Al Durham. Remember, he's only been with the club for a week or two, only played 1 game for the Gladiators, and he's came off the bench here. 10 points for him, and he's done it in a controlled manner, which makes you believe he's someone who can put some points on the board for this club. Well, he was in Greece, top league Greece, beginning of this season. So he would have played against the best teams in Europe, and Panathinaikos and Olympiacos.
Actually, his best scoring game was against Olympiacos in that spell. And as you say, you have to have some ability to get picked up there, that's for sure. And now he's taking his talents to Glasgow. That's a great move from Alehodzic.
Well, one of the other new guys, but this one has BBL experience with London Lions back in 2021 season. He's starting to feel his feet now, and playing on 4 fouls, remember.
Taj Green to the right and tosses one in.
Well, Taj Green's had a good game today, but he hasn't had the easiest of times on the offensive end. That will take him to 10 points.
Bailey attacking hard. Green with the rebound. Green wants a foul, doesn't get one. Caledonia running. Oh, and that's a hard foul from Jones. The referees are looking at each other. They're going to have a word here as to whether that's over the line for a regular foul or unsportsmanlike.
Well, if this one's not called unsportsmanlike, and the other one in the first half in that very same basket was, I'll be baffled.
Well, consider yourself baffled, because it's a regular foul.
I'll sit here next to you baffled, Dan, because that doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Making the second. Good hands from Alehodzic. That'll be a Giants ball in the backcourt.
Good control there from Alehodzic. Callum Jones kind of letting that one fly out of bounds.
Green spins, loses the ball. Bailey comes away with it. And foul from behind by Green. That's going to be his 4th personal foul.
Still a lot of time left in this basketball game, and Vince McCauley calls a timeout to talk things over. He needs to figure out a way to get his team firing.
Well, Manchester Giants call a timeout here. Work to do. They trail the Caledonia Gladiators 61-73 here at the National Basketball Performance Center. There's a couple of important games coming up here next week, and Drew has a very special guest.
Thanks, Dan. I'm here with GB International Zania Stewart, who's in town for the international window next week. How's preparation going?
It's going really well, actually. Thank you very much. First day of practice was today, so the ladies are feeling really good.
Nice. 5 days after. Here on this network, we got to see you lift the cup. Have you come down from the champagne showers?
The champagne showers were definitely flowing. It was fantastic. A great win for us and a great performance for women's basketball. So I'm enjoying it, but now it's a different phase of basketball. It's Great Britain, and we've got to get ready for that.
And just a quick word on this game. Manchester down by 12, 6 minutes to go.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Well, I've commentated both of these teams. They're both fantastic. I think Manchester's done a fantastic job bringing in fans, and we really want them to come to our game. But Gladiators playing tough, and they always do.
And finally, I heard through the grapevine that you were retiring. Please tell me I'm wrong.
It's right, yeah. You know, I've had a fantastic career, and I'm just feeling ready for the next, kind of phase in my life. Obviously I commentate and I'm on the BBL show, so it is the right thing. But the 9th of February at 7 versus Estonia, and then the 12th here in Manchester at 4 o'clock. So everyone come down.
Well, we'll see you then. Thanks for your time, Zania.
Thank you very much.
Portugal, the visitors on that second game, so you don't get many more opportunities to watch Zania in a GB show as Ali Hodgic goes for the jab. So if you are in town, do come down and support the GB women's team. 2 very important games for them, and we wish them all the best in that. As Ali Hodgic trying to put William Lee on a poster there.
We've seen a few of the guys trying to put other guys on posters this evening, and Ali Hodgic, seen him have some monster jams throughout the years. William Lee does just enough to present. Many highlights happening here.
He makes them both 14-point lead for Caledonia. But Manchester are that team that so explosive offensively, they're never really beaten until the buzzer sounds.
No, the issue is they just don't know that they're in any rhythm. That can change very quickly. They need to start making a run, preferably earlier on. Just join his offense there. And even Ramon Fletcher, someone who controls the game from at his own speed. It's only 1 assist for him this evening, which means they haven't went for him enough.
What do you think on that one? Unsportsmanlike or no, before they give it?
I'm just going to sit here being baffled still. I don't want to make any more comments on unsportsmanlike, because there doesn't seem to be any clear consistency as to when unsportsmanlike's called in this game.
Well, that was a no. And Gareth Murray is as baffled as you were earlier, I think, as to why that's there. It looks like it's from behind in transition, but I suppose the saving grace is that he's never quite got the ball. They're both going for it, and that is why it's just a regular foul. But Manchester, with still 6.5 minutes to go in this quarter, already over the limit for fouls, so it is 2 free throws anyway for Al Durham. Fletcher out to Lee for 3, and William Lee knocks down the triple.
That's a big one. Can that ignite this last minute surge now from the Giants? See, it was good ball movement as well, and Lee got to step into that one at plenty of time. That's what we haven't seen enough of. And remember, this is the leading scoring team in the British Basketball League, and they haven't looked like that for large proportions of this game. Usually average 91 points a game.
Apart from the first quarter, they've been way off their normal scoring pace. 31 points in the first quarter, 33 points since then.
Yeah, it's just been a breakdown defensively from the offensive Giants, but credit to Caledonia as well, who have been high energy, hands everywhere. They've been really, really good at that. Haliotis again out the open floor. He's laying.
Well, he ran the floor and Bailey saw him. And this one getting away. Caledonia trailed by 18 in the first quarter. They now lead by 17. And it's thrown away again, and Bailey will get a jam, and Vince McCauley will want to talk this one over, because Caledonia running riot here in the fourth quarter with 5 to play. They have the biggest lead for either team in the contest at 19 points.
And the longer this game goes on, the stronger this Caledonia Gladiators team looks, and contrast to the opposition, the Giants are frailing.
Oh, they've scored just 7 points in 5 minutes, which is below what they would normally do, but they've given up 19 points in less than 5 minutes. That's way too many.
Yeah, and as I say, when the offense is broken for the Giants, everything else is, and that's a problem. You see, I feel Gladiators came into this, and credit to them as well. They did a superb job after coming back from the onslaught in the first quarter. It was to a point where we were ready to throw in the towel. They could have been down by 20 in the first quarter, but they mustered courage and they found a way to get back into this game. And not only have they got back into it, they controlled it.
Well, I've said at the start of the show that Manchester are a team that tend to get behind and chase it down. And today it's been the other way around. They got way ahead, and they were the ones being chased, and they were not only caught and passed, but lapped as well here in the fourth quarter. Well, 3 other games this evening in the British Basketball League. Where's Drew? Where's Drew? The Eagles have won, and Drew's not here to celebrate. 84-70. Bristol, big winners in the Southwest Derby, beating Plymouth 108-93, and Leicester, as they always do against Surrey, win again, 99-77. More than a decade since Surrey have beaten Leicester. Here's Fletcher. Long 2 is short. But upside for Surrey, the return of their captain, Teo Ognebbe. Only played a few minutes, but great to see him back out there.
Oh, it's great news, and he's been someone who's been out for a while, and the longevity of his career as well. He hasn't had many injuries throughout, so this will be a real new experience for him to come back from injury.
Ali Hodgic has been probably playing his best basketball since he picked up his 4th foul here today. He's really been fired up and working hard at both ends.
And this experience as well, that not to make those errors, to put yourself in positions to pick up that 5th foul.
Durham blocked by Fletcher, and foul the second time around.
Ramon Fletcher blocking shots. Is there anything this man can do? That's a clean one too. And then Bailey just reacts fast. He's the one who reacts quickest, and off the block, Bailey's got possession. And
well, this is Ramon Fletcher's 220th game that he's played in the British Basketball League. It is block number 9.
Wow. Career block number 9. Wow. Wow.
20-point lead for Caledonia. And they've done it consistently, really. They haven't maybe had the spurts in the way that Manchester quite often do. They've just been consistent throughout, played hard, and Manchester have turned the ball over too many times here in the second half. And more often than not, Caledonia have come down and scored as a result of it. Not this time. That's a bump from Durham. Dirk Williams can't make the shot after the contact, but he will go to the line for 2.
Dirk Williams has done a really good job of that today, going that at the rim. He hasn't had that sort of prolific night from the three-point line, what we're accustomed to seeing from him. He hasn't shot particularly well from the three-point line, just 1 of 7 for him, and a lot of the looks he's got been contested or difficult shots. But what he has done a good job at is getting to the rim, and he's leading his league. He's leading his team in scoring, 14 points personal for him.
6 of 10 from the free throw line for Williams. As Fletcher sits down and Lee returns. There's Tape. Tape was so dominant in the first half. We haven't seen a load of him in the second half, but haven't really needed to. As I say, Ali Hodgic, once he got that 4th foul, was playing so well, they didn't want to take him out. Tape's second personal foul.
Well, we comment on the importance of the Scottish cohort for this Caledonia team. And Malcolm Dunyan came off the bench today and hit some picked shots. And Carl Jimenez, of course, so much in favour. He starts and sets the tone for this Gladiators team.
Well, with 3 minutes to go, as it stands, these two teams are both going to finish the day with 10 wins and 10 defeats. Cheshire in 4th place with 11 and 11, also at 500, as Green works his way through but cannot convert. It looks at the minute like those 3 teams are still fighting it out for that 4th spot, unless one of Leicester or Bristol start to drop, which doesn't look like it's... oh my goodness, Dirk Williams collided with his own teammate there. Robinson felt the full force of that.
Just a prime example there of a team being off sync. Oh goodness.
Lewis, step back 3 to bank it in. 2 Giants again getting in each other's way, and Dirk Williams landing on them as well. A lot of green on green crime going on right now.
There is indeed, and the Giants just be wanting to get out of this game with everyone healthy.
Williams going in for the score, doesn't realise his teammates are beneath him. They do get some points in the end, Manchester. Well, 2 minutes to play in a game that started so well for Manchester, but it's kind of melted away since then. And these are 2 teams who have both been very good at home and not quite as good on the road. But Caledonia serving notice that they can do it away from the friendly confines of the Emirates Arena. I've been impressed with this guy, Durham, in only his second appearance. Ali Hodgic as well. Played really well in the second half for them. So 2 new signings who seem to be finding their feet out.
Yeah, good news for Coach Gareth Murray as well. When you get new players this late in the season, you're always cautious about the chemistry not really fully getting in when you're in the season, but it's been quite the opposite. I think the guys have been able to shake things up and a breath of fresh air for the existing players. They seem to slot it in, and you're getting better from other players as well. I mean, Tape has been excellent. The injury to Ali Frazier there, and him gone out, and they've having to rely on Tape, and now Ali Hodges has came in. It seemed to have lit a fire in the Tappy as well, which they're all positive knock-on effects from bringing in new players. And Bailey's been one of the guys doing a lot of the damage for this club throughout the season. He's had a really strong game today.
Well, he's 18 and 13, Bailey, but they've got 5 guys in double figures. Lewis attacks hard and able to score.
Oh, tough finish from Nick Lewis. We haven't spoken much about him this season, but he's a guy that can hit threes in a hurry. He's not been able to get volume shots up this evening. Just 0 for 4 from the three-point line for him.
Bailey with a chance to get himself up to 20.
This is his rookie season. He's from Fairbanks, Alaska. So he's someone who's used to being in those northern parts, those colden parts, and I'm sure he's loving the climate up in Glasgow. Feeling at home.
Lewis can't convert the corner 3. Robertson fighting for the rebound, able to come up with the loose ball. And there's a foul called. Manchester have only been under 70 once. In fact, they weren't under 71. We're talking about it was 71 against London. So, danger of their lowest score of the season as Dirk Williams gets all the way to the rim and he ties that up at least.
Oh, I didn't think I'd ever see a Giants team of this roster scored in the 60s. They don't this evening, but they were real close.
It's been a while since they had a number this low, certainly not this year at home. Blocked by Robertson. Dirk Williams has to bail out of the 3, and Durham is on his own down court. And these points matter for Caledonia. As I say, these two teams are right next to each other in the table. Jump stop for Dirk Williams, and he drops it in. Durham looks at the coach, and coach says that'll do. They'll dribble it out. But what a game for the Caledonia Gladiators. Down 18 in the first half. They win by 18. A 36-point turnaround.
Yeah, it was incredible, and I really liked their response and their energy. We saw a number of different players contribute for this Caledonia club today, and that's positive. Even David Sloan, there was a period of the game where he needed to take over. He finishes with 11. You've had contributions across the board with 5 players being in double digits.
And at the other end of the floor for the Manchester Giants, they shoot just 22% from three-point range, 36% from the floor, uncharacteristically low, as the coach, does Vince McCauley just write this off as a bad day at the office and forget about it?
Yeah, Dan, even free throws, they really struggled at just 60%. A lot of misses they left out there, 14 for 23. So I think so. You chalk this one up to a bad day, but it was the impact as well of Caledonia. They did bring Manchester Giants out of their way, made them feel very uncomfortable. How many of those turnovers did we see and those run-outs from Caledonia? And that's due to the pressure of the Caledonia defense.
Well, they got 14 points off turnovers, and that was a key stat. 13 turnovers for the Manchester Giants. Let's take a look at the numbers. And as I say, the shooting numbers, really the difference between them, but also those extra 5 turnovers. Rebounds were even, but at times it was when Caledonia came up with some key offensive rebounds.
Yeah, exactly that, Dan. And even with the assists as well, the 20 to 14 in favour of the Caledonia, they really shared the basketball, and they look like the more fluid team on offense.
And looking at the second page, points in the paint, 54. Some of those were in transition, 35 points off the bench as well. Let's get some reaction Patrick Tape, who had 19 points and 9 rebounds, is with Drew.
Thanks, Dan. Patrick, down 18 early. You clawed yourself back into this one. When did you feel like you had control of this game?
I think just before halftime, we kind of got on a run, have momentum going into the break, and I think we were playing with confidence, so probably at that point.
And at the top, we talked about your road struggles this season. How were you able to slow down this offensive juggernaut?
Yeah, I mean, they came out hot. I think they scored 31 points in the first quarter, so we really just stuck to our principles. First we got to the locker room and huddles, coaches breaking down, just stick to our principles. They're hitting tough shots, but, we just stayed consistent and got the win.
And Bailey douses you with water, obviously excitement from your end.
Yeah.
You got your work done early. How were you able to establish your presence?
I think just from the jump, I think, my teammates were just getting me the ball in good positions, just kind of reading the defense well. And, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Great job. Great solid win on the road, Patrick.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
What a performance from Patrick Tape. What a performance from the Gladiators, full stop. This was a much needed win for them, wasn't it, given the form they've been in the league?
It was definitely, they needed that confidence to be built tonight. And, you saw that first quarter, you got really worried. And thankfully, we were able to pull it off in the next three.
We'll break that down in a minute because it was an extraordinary succession of quarters after that horrific opener. Patrick Tape, we're seeing now, had a brilliant night. 88% he was shooting, 19 points, 9 boards, a couple of steals as well. He was everywhere, Kieran.
He definitely was, and he was the one player that was consistent throughout. When things were going bad, he was still finding ways to score. He was blocking shots, making passes. He had a great game tonight.
His performance notwithstanding, how did the Gladiators turn this around? 31 points for Manchester in that first quarter. This is the league's #1 offense, and yet they put together, Caledonia, 3 successive defensive quarters that stifled this juggernaut of an offense. How did they do that?
Honestly, they changed their focus. They really started to fixate on defense, and with that, it changed the whole momentum of this game because the Giants weren't able to go out and run, and I think, Gareth Murray did a great job of really getting the guys, riled up after that first quarter and said, okay, let's step it up. That 7-point swing at the end to finish the first quarter changed the confidence and everything else for that. So it was just great to see them really step up and focus on defense on those next 3.
Well, let's find out if we can hear what Gareth said to his players, particularly at the half, because he is now courtside with Drew.
Gareth, you just talked about your defense there on the sideline, but talk about your team's defense. On quarters, they held the #1 team to only 73 points tonight.
Yeah, first 7 minutes wasn't what we talked about. That wasn't what we talked about. 7 minutes, we weren't focused. We let guys, Fletcher get down on his left hand. We let Dirk easy threes, transition. Willie Green feet set threes. That's not what we talked about. So we had to refocus. Our main objective, we had to play defense on this team. We know we could get any opportunities we want offensively, but it was our defense focus that got us for the win in the second half.
And you talk about the first 7 minutes. When did you feel like the game began to turn?
Probably after that 3-minute spell towards the end of the first quarter, I thought, okay, we're kind of locked in now. I made a few subs. These guys really focused on what the things that we talked about throughout the week of how we have to stop these guys, transition offense, Dirk downhill, right hand or open threes, and Fletch kicking ahead. So once we figured that out towards the end of the first quarter, I think we switched on offensively. We got stops and shared the ball.
And finally, only your 3rd win on the road. What's the key to picking up more wins away from Emirates?
Focus. The focus. We can't start games down 18. There's got to be defense every time. We talk about it every day. It's defense. It's defense. It's defense. Still working with a young group now. We bring in Farrow. We bring Durham in, who's got a little bit of experience playing in Greece already and at high level in the States. So a little bit more experience, a little bit more depth, but it's got to be our defense. Sloan probably played like 19 minutes tonight. So I can't even remember. He's been our main guy all year, but he only played 19 now. It's about defense for us.
Well, great job tonight. Go celebrate that one, Coach.
Thank you.
You mentioned Al Durham, you mentioned Aliozic as well. Both new players, of course, for Caledonia. Both impressed tonight. Aliozic grew into the game, didn't he?
Yeah, he really stepped up, especially in that second half. He got into foul trouble, and that was going to be my worry with him this season, the foul trouble. But he found a way to manage those 4 fouls and had a great contribution in that second half.
What do you make of Al Durham's performance?
I like him. He missed a couple of shots around the basket, getting blocked a couple of times. But he's got some nice moves. He fits in, he gets his spacing right. I think he's going to be a great upside for this Gladiators team.
It must be great for you to see Gareth as well really growing into this role as a coach, because it was, talk about the brilliant team performance, a brilliant performance from him.
Yeah, and you know what? I said he's staying more composed. As a player, sometimes he let his emotions get the best of him. He's finding a way to stay a little bit more even keel, and his beard's taken it to a whole new level as a coach as well. It's always well oiled.
I think it's the suit as well. The combo, I think, is clearly paying off for him. Speaking of combos, it was a really tough call in terms of MVP. It went to Patrick Tape, but it could quite conceivably have been this guy, Jeremiah Bailey. You might recall at the top of the show I mentioned he was 161 boards and counting. Well, 13 more for him tonight.
Absolute animal. You know, he's relentless, just continues to attack the basket. His biggest weakness for me is his foul trouble. You know, he gets into some foul trouble. Tonight he was able to manage that, and it showed. That's why he was able to continuously, especially in that second half, get going.
So we talked at the half, based on the form we saw Manchester in the first quarter, they're going to be a dangerous proposition for many teams in that kind of form in the playoffs. Both these teams we expect, barring something extraordinary happening in the second half of the season, to make the playoffs. Caledonia, they have these new recruits. They've got a coach that's really finding his stride. They've got some big-name players, as we've seen tonight. How dangerous can they be?
I want them to be there. Everyone wants them to be there. Gareth wants them to be there. They just have to find a way to gel and be a little bit more consistent. Kind of like what the Giants are going through at this moment in time. They can be great, but they can also be awful. And that's the thing. They have to kind of manage through this process of getting this playoff push.
There are some positives to take from Manchester's performance first quarter, most notably. Let's find out what Vince McCauley thinks about his team's turnout tonight. He's with Drew.
Coach, normally known for your offense, 31 points to start, but only 42 the rest of the way. Your views?
You miss all the shots you don't take, right? I think somebody wearing the number 23 said that. My team were very poor today at taking shots, turned down so many shots to dribble into trouble. That was something that really cost us in the second half, I thought. I thought in the first half, probably we were more free-flowing, pushing the ball around, and we just didn't do that in the second half. And then what happened once we got down, every individual thought they'd take it their turn to see if they could get it back in one go.
And we talk about your pace. With your lack of depth, do you think your team can sustain the pace throughout the course of the season?
Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see, because we can't play any other way. I mean, we do have a lack of depth. We can't strengthen the squad at the moment, so we have to go with what we've got. The injury to Nathan, this might have been a game he could have come in there and given us some spark. You know, Nick Lewis didn't do his usual stuff off of the bench with the turnover, so. But, you know, is one game going to cost us? I don't think so. I think what's going to happen is, as ever, the BBL is a long marathon. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. But the good thing is you won't have too long to think about it with a game tomorrow.
And just quickly on the other side of the ball, you give up 91 points today. Is that something you're going to have to address if you guys are going to contend?
Well, I think 91 is below what we currently concede. So why would we?
Great job. Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
That is the very definition of glass half full, that answer.
Oh, you know what? If you score more points than the other team, you win the game. So
it's a hot take. It is a hot take. He did make a point about Nick Lewis, and you could apply that to a lot of the Giants players tonight. Caledonia were able to put him off the stride. They weren't able to do play their typical game. And Ramon Fletcher, I think, was a great example of that, because we saw the tricks, the wheeling and dealing that he is known for and that electrifies the crowd at times. But Kieran, just one assist. As you said to me, how often have you seen Ramon Fletcher held to just one assist?
And this is definitely a question for Dan Rutledge. I've not seen it many times, you know, Ramon Fletcher not be able to get the ball moving and get some scores for his teammates. And I genuinely believe it's because they were so flat. Even the shots that they were getting, they were just missing.
Right. 167 assists he's had, by the way, ahead of tonight. Just to put that extraordinary stat into context, and congratulations to the Gladiators for pulling off that game plan and keeping him very much in check. Taj Green, another player who had a mixed night, because 15 boards, you've got to give him credit for that, but he got into foul trouble and he shot just 3 from 10 inside.
He seemed really frustrated at times. You know, he rebounding was his go-to. Got his confidence through that, blocking shots, but just the likes of Tape just getting in the way, it just really made it frustrating, and it caused him to really struggle offensively.
Yeah, frustrating night for him, ultimately, given what he's been capable of this season, and that is reflective, I guess, of Manchester's performance. But as Vince said, there is plenty of ball left to play, and they're not going to emphasize too much on tonight's performance. Let's have a look at the rest of the results from around the BBL tonight, including where's Drew Lasker, somewhere in the building. He's going to want to find out that the Newcastle Eagles, I can see him in the corner of my eye, and he's happy about that. 84-70, they've taken down the Sheffield Sharks. Another defeat for Sheffield. They are on tilt at the moment, aren't they? Bristol, conversely, absolutely rolling, keeping the pressure on London at the top of the table. 108-93 in a shootout against Plymouth. And then Leicester, speaking of keeping the pressure on London, big win, unsurprisingly, against the bottom side, Surrey, 99-77. The victory for Rob Paternoster's men, a bounce-back win after that cup final, defeating confirmation of our game, 91-73. Caledonia over Manchester, which means Bristol top the league on points. If you look a little bit more closely, you'll see they've played 5 more than London, although that is something that we touched on at the top of the show. They have to play each other twice, and London have a difficult schedule ahead, of course, with the European commitments as well. Leicester snapping at their heels too. All 3 of those still very much in that title race. Caledonia and Manchester, with the win tonight for Caledonia, both now on 10 wins, 10 losses this season. Big win for Bristol again, Kieran.
Big win. It's great to see them at the top of the table as well, but what a season we're having. You just do not know what's going to happen.
There is so much ball to play, of course. We've got the league, which we're going to be all across here on Sky Sports. Next up, couple of weeks off for us. We're back Friday, February the 24th, with those Sheffield Sharks up against the Surrey Scorchers, the bottom side desperately needing a win. They want to scrap something together to try and get into that playoff mix. Sheffield, conversely, well, they've got to stop this slide and make sure they are in the race and have a seat at the table when the playoffs come around. When they do come around, we are going to be across them right here on Sky Sports, 7:30 on air for that one. Make sure you join us. Hope you've enjoyed tonight. We'll see you then. Bye for now.